Hey guys, Jay, we're here with another video. So today we're going to talk about the endless heist strategy, infinite heist strategy, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about sitting in heist before you kill Katava. You're probably going to be in Act 10. You're going to wait. You're going to not kill Katava, and you're going to go into heist using rogue markers that you find in the acts to access heist and endless heist. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Alright, so first of all, if you guys don't know, you use rogue markers to go to the rogue harbor. So now that we're in the rogue harbor, you're probably going to have to do a short little quest chain down here to unlock the ability to do contracts. We're going to run this lock-picking contract. So show you guys how to run a contract. You talk to Adia, the wayfinder here. You say prepare heist. You put the contract in. We already had one in there for some reason. This is a lock-picking contract. So what you're going to do is it's going to cost you rogue markers. Right now it's 131. You need to select somebody. You have to pay them. We're going to pay Karst. Karst is the main person you want to use to do contracts, and we're going to go over the types of contracts you want to use. But for now, I'm just going to run one real quick and show you guys. So you pick Karst. You click sign contract, and Adia here is going to open a portal to the heist instance, right? So, a couple things you want to take note of while we're doing these. You just head down this door here into the heist. Okay, so now we're in the heist. We have an alert level, which we're trying to just, basically the whole thing here, guys, you want to steal as much stuff as you can from the heist and get out of the heist. Basically, that's the whole concept here. And opening chests that give us stuff is going to raise the alert level. You can get some uniques in here. One of the things you want to make sure you do down here is you want to grab all these rares, leave them unidentified, because one of the main rewards from doing Endless Heist is Chaos Recipe. Usually the limiting factor for getting Chaos Recipe is going to be jewelry, right? It's hard to find rings and amulets quite frequently, right? But because of the type of contracts you can do in Heist, you can get a lot of rings and amulets, a lot of jewelry reward chests, basically. So here's a currency reward chest. So see what we get from this. You do get a lot of raw chaos. No chaos this time. We got a Vol Orb, some other pretty good stuff. Usually the type of currency you get from the chests are either going to be very good early on in the league, or they're going to allow you to continue doing the heist, right? So we're going to want chance orbs to buy contracts, and we're going to want orb of scourings to get more contracts with a vendor recipe, and also to reset our level with a scroll of wisdom and a scouring orb. And we'll go over how to do that. Look, here's one raw chaos, right? That's one like 1/40th or 1/50th of an exalted orb right here, right? So you can see, and you'll probably get a lot. Look, we have some rings here, some amulets, some belts. These are very helpful in doing vendor recipe. I mean, you could basically get one chaos recipe per heist almost, and then whatever other chaos orbs drop, right? So that's 2 chaos per heist. Maybe not per every heist you do. Maybe you'll get different items, you know, and you'll have to figure it out. It's a little bit of a management you have to do, right? A black hole talisman here, right? You'll get some really good items from heist that you're not going to have access to early on in the league. That's kind of the whole point. So another thing you want to manage here is, this is the display cake here. When you first start doing the curio display, excuse me, talking a little quickly here. When you first start doing the heists, you want to make sure you grab every single one of these, because this is what's going to allow you to sustain your rogue markers. Essentially, that green item that you get, I think it's a green item, from the display case is going to be able to sell for more rogue markers than it costs to run the heist, right? So that's what is going to allow you to sustain the rogue markers to do the heist, right? Carved wand there. What is that? Making sure. I think a poet's pen is carved one as well, which would be a really good item to get early on from heist. So as you can see, a lot of uniques are going to be dropping, a lot of raw chaos is going to be dropping, and a lot of rares that you can use for chaos recipe is going to be dropping, right? And as you can see, we haven't spent too long down here, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. This build is kind of slow at doing them. You don't have to kill everything. You just want to open the doors and get out, right? So now that we're out, that's the contract complete, right? We got a lot of chaos, a lot of rare items we can use for chaos recipe, and a lot of currency, right? That's a pretty good haul for just 2-3 minutes at level 60, right? So what you want to do here is you want to sell this item, and it's going to give you rogue markers. Generally, it's going to give you about 100, maybe 200 more than it costs to do the contract, which is going to allow you to sustain contracts. So, all right, let's go over one other thing here. So how this is called, why this is called Infinite Heist, is you want to use this vendor recipe, which can be 1 scouring orb and 1 scroll of wisdom, which you should be able to sustain from the contracts you do you trade for a book of regression. This resets your character level, or downgrades your character level by 1. Level 63, it's going to downgrade to 62. And before I do that, let's go over why we want to do that. Well, how we sustain contracts is we buy them. I've already bought up a lot on the previous thing I tried to show. I made another video, basically. I'm re-recording this. So I already bought up the contracts, right? So just to go over real quick, the type of contracts you want to buy from Wakano here. This is our source of contracts. You shouldn't need to get contracts from anywhere else doing this. So we're going to want to get lockpicking, counter-thaumaturgy. Let me make this a little smaller here so it's not like blinding me. We're going to want to get lockpicking, counter-thaumaturgy for currency, and then we're going to also get deception and perception. Part of the reason is for divination cards, which can be really good early on, and then also for more jewelry, right? So lockpicking, perception, counter-thaumaturgy for jewelry, perception, deception for div cards, and then lockpicking and counter-thaumaturgy for currency rewards, right? So with all those types of rewards combined, we're going to be able to get really good rewards from Heist, get our exalts early on the first night of the league, and then get out. This is a strategy that's kind of designed for just 6, 8, 10, maybe 12 hours in Heist, getting as many exalts as you can, right? So let's go over the strategy here. So when you level and de-level in the game, vendor currencies update, right? So as you can see, we're out of the type of contracts we wanted to buy because I already bought them up. So let's de-level. Okay, so we just de-leveled there. Alright, now let's go over to Wakano. Okay, his vendor options have updated for us, right? So now we can buy more perception contracts. Deception is what we want, another deception there. Demolition is actually okay to buy if you can't buy anything else. There's another deception, and here's a lockpicking. I can say lockpicking is actually probably the best kind you want, right? So that's how you sustain your contracts doing Heist, right? And it's going to update when you level, and then it's going to update again when you de-level. So you should have plenty of contracts, and it should take maybe 2 or 3 contracts to level up around this level. So that's how you sustain your contracts infinitely from Wakano. Now, being in Heist, obviously, and de-leveling yourself is going to stifle your character progression, but you only do it for a short period of time, and it's definitely worth it, I would say, to do this at the start of the league. So, to go over real quickly, one, you want to do this, I think we might have mentioned already, but you want to not kill Katava, because that's going to give you less resists, and it's going to make it just a little more difficult for you to do the Heist. So ideally, you don't need to do this, but ideally I would say you go through, you do your 3rd labyrinth, to have 6 ascendancy points to use, and then you don't kill Katava to make sure your resists are in the best place possible. So you could start doing this anywhere from level 61 up to 65, I would say. You can go all the way up to 68, 69, but once you get up to that point, make sure you start de-leveling, as the contracts are going to get a lot more difficult with the scaling item levels, right? Because the contracts you buy are based upon your level from Wakano. As you can see, I was level 63, so he's giving me level 63 contracts, right? And those are generally really easy to do. So that's how you want to go about managing your levels, managing your rogue markers, and sustaining contracts from Wakano. The items you want to be accumulating are unidentified rares. You want to make sure they're unidentified for Chaos Recipe. So you sell a full inventory set of rares, which is weapon, gloves, helm, boots, chest, rings, unidentified, and that will give you 2 chaos back. If you don't know about Chaos Recipe, we're not going to go in depth on this video. Just look up how to do Chaos Recipe, and that'll get you about 2 chaos. Sorry guys, that's how you do Infinite Heist early on. Like I said, you want to do it around level early 60s. Don't get your level too high and just keep regressing. You should have everything you need from doing the contracts to stay infinitely in Heist to get those Exalted Orbs, right? And you want to save up your chaos to buy Exalted Orbs. They're going to be 40, 50 chaos day 1. Just buy, I don't know, 5 or 10 exalts. Buy the upgrades you need to get your character really online for maps, and then get out of there and get back to maps, and you're going to have a big head start on everyone else, because you're going to get way more currency in Heist than you're going to be able to get in early maps to get those big upgrades that you need. Really, you want to be looking at getting build enabling uniques and things like that. They're going to allow you to do tier 16 maps right away. So alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. That's how you do Infinite Heist. We're going to have 1 or 2 more videos coming up in this How to League Start series. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.